pasa? Hi guys, welcome to the Notice Blog. Always question, always explore. I'm your host, Paul Notice, and I'm also executive producer of the Notice Blog, but no big deal. I am now currently out in Kenya, living here, dreaming here, I'm doing my thing. It's cool. Went through my files, voting's going up, so.
The biggest impact your vote will have is on the local ballot. Facebook even created a way that you can find out what's on your local ballot. I'll put the link down below so you can find it out.
I figured I'd talk about voting. I actually did a video on voting.
The fundamental importance to voting is the right and the freedom to decide your own destiny.
I never released it because I never edited it. I never finished it. So here it is. Hope you enjoy. And just think about the whole idea of when I talked about gerrymandering. You add that to an electoral college, gerrymandering, and the precise and deliberate targeting of the Democrats' voter base through voter restriction laws, and there you have the Trump presidency. It's that simple. Voter ID laws.
In 2013, the Supreme Court effectively shut down Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. Now, this required states that had a previous record of voter suppression to get permission from the federal government before enacting any new voting laws. Under John Roberts, the Supreme Court came to the decision that that entire process should be reinvented, and that reinvention should come from Congress. So until Congress decides, I guess there's no oversight. Now, since that decision, 14 states have enacted voter restriction laws. Not just talking voter ID, we're talking about eliminating early voting, shorter polling hours, less polling locations.
How we could have actually reformed immigration so that a lot of people who should be eligible to vote would have that right during the midterms.
Well, the biggest choice the Democrats made after 2008 was to pursue a national health care law with their total control of government.
Obama spent all his political capital on getting healthcare done, and here's a little segment that they are explaining that.
Well, if they had passed a liberal immigration bill with a pathway to citizenship for people who are currently in the country illegally, you could have millions of people becoming eligible, at least, for citizenship and voting rights, who in 2008 had no pathway there and still today have no pathway there.
In essence, Obama had the opportunity to push forward legislation and different types of executive orders that would undoubtedly expand the Democratic voter base. Instead, they went in the direction of expanding healthcare, believing that they would win votes based on the issues alone. Cynically enough, it didn't work. Anyway, so enjoy the really terrible audio from this video that I did, and I'll catch you guys later.
The fundamental importance to voting is the right and the freedom to decide your own destiny. I think that has been the way that I have understood it, and the way that my father and my mother and my family and my community and my peers have understood this. Speaking to this as a black man growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, there have been countless efforts in the city alone, and it's a Midwest city, to kind of disenfranchise black voters and poor voters. Traditionally, the South and parts of the country, there have been poll taxes, there have been lynchings, there have been just outright laws prohibiting black people from choosing their elected representatives. There's countless ways that people try to take away that right to vote. I think that, in a way, is trying to take away people's freedom. It's important to collectively decide what's good for everyone, not just a few individuals at the top, whether it's because of their race or because of their income or whatever. Everyone should be equal in this country. And voting is the most clear indicator in our country of how that can happen. One of the things that I think about a lot, you've seen it around, it's police reform. How do we keep people who are sworn to protect us accountable? What happens when people violate that trust between the law enforcement and the community? A great number of people that are in jail right now are not there because they committed a crime, but it's because they just simply couldn't afford the post bail. And you gotta imagine that if you happen to not have as much money and you happen to be a certain skin color that is often targeted, like showing up on a Starbucks is enough to get you arrested these days.
What did they do? What did they do? Did someone tell me what they did?
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing. I asked
What
them
did
in
they
the bathroom.
So you can imagine how that impacts my community. We live in a country where we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and yet there's certain ways in which people are circumventing the order of law. It's weird to see a father of three with a gun owner's license shot to death by police. And at the same time, seeing a guy who murdered 4 people at a Waffle House being taken into custody alive. There's a lot that I'm thinking about. And again, this all comes from informing your community too, so that more people are voting, but you yourself have to participate and vote. And that's our responsibility. This is the only way we can really change things. Either running for office or voting someone in that you know will do a good job.
All right, guys, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you jumping into these archives with me and talking about some issues and things. And no, I'm kidding. Always question, always explore. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
I wish this town was safer. I don't want it to be like this anymore.